because he was
Hello,
taking
ladies and
such a
gentlemen.
savage.
Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. We're back at it with another video. This video is gonna be about how to read a chart, and I kind of just want to show you what I'm watching right now. Look at this.
Absolutely. And that was
So I was charting my weekly markups, right? Which I'm gonna do another video right now for the weekly markup, but I need to chart up still GBP/USD, so I decided I'm gonna do a video how to read a chart and at the same time chart up GBP/USD. And I was watching this fight while I was charting up. Look at this. So I don't care if I get copyrighted or anything. I don't know on YouTube to make money.
He's already a great boxer, that's for
I make money from the commission
number one
markets.
pound for pound
Look
fighter
at
in the
this.
sport, and the more you watch him, the more you appreciate him.
Absolutely.
You know what I just realized? I realized I could play chess and upload it on YouTube.
First 3 or 4 rounds tonight looked as though things could be rocky. Statistically, since
gonna get
then,
hit with the low
Mayweather
blow.
has dominated.
Savage is waiting to counterpunch right now. He's waiting for that great opportunity.
The low blow and then the back of the head. And then look at Uncle Roger. Rest in peace, Uncle Roger.
And Mayweather is badly hurt by the low blow.
He was right up there, right looking for it. Looking to get it back in blood, and then his popped. And then Saab came up to punch freaking Leonard Ellerby. Look at Leonard Ellerby. Wow. That's crazy. That shit is funny. Alright, so we're back at it. Alright, so we're gonna go on how to read a chart. You could skip that shit. Obviously, if you typed on YouTube how to read a chart and this video came up, you could just skip it to the part where it matters, right? So what are we gonna do here is this video is mostly for for beginners and shit, for people who are just starting, right? Who have no idea what they're looking at when they're open up a chart. So we're gonna get into full screen, and even before we get on the chart, we will get on the actual chart. This is what I like to do when I trade, right? So let me lower the sound. What I like to do when I trade is, first and foremost, look for strong areas of supply and demand, and then look to trade off of these strong areas of supply and demand, or it could also be called support and resistance. But the thing with support and resistance is support is after it tests multiple times. So now, before, this is area of supply and demand. Now this is support and resistance. That's kind of like my thing, especially if it's just one strong zone. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say price does this right here. So this is a bearish and gold. No, what the fuck am I saying? This is a bearish trend, right? Why? Because price are doing highs, lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? But then look at what price does afterwards. Let's say it tests a previous high, and then it creates a higher low, and then after this higher low, price does this. So now at this point in time, price broke these highs, which is called a break of structure, and also created a higher low. Obviously this low is higher than this, so this is already telling us, after seeing this break of structure here and seeing this higher low, this is already telling us that price is already shifting from bearish to bullish, especially if we get a bullish engulfing candle right here. So now, after seeing that, let's say price is doing something right here, and you see this. So now I see this strong zone right here, which is a strong area of demand, right? So it's not yet support because price still has not yet tested it multiple times and created support above it. It's still a strong area of demand because it pushed up, broke structure, and created a higher low. So now what I would like to see is, obviously price doesn't have to come all the way to the exact point, but maybe price come back, test this zone, and then continue. And I would be looking for a trade somewhere right here. This is some of my favorite trades to take. Just based off the previous area of supply, and you could simplify it. So you have our previous area of supply. Wait for price to come test this previous area of supply, and then we're gonna come back to the upside. Or if price does not want to test it as supply, price is either gonna, so we have a strong supply, and then price comes back, and then it doesn't show you any strength for buys. And after you start seeing this, we could test it as supply. So previous strong area of demand turns into supply. So we're either gonna get this after the stronger we test for the first time the strong area of demand or support, and we're gonna get buys above again, or we're gonna test it and we're not gonna have any strength on the buys, and then we're gonna bearish engulf it, create a lower high, and test it as supply. So previous demand will either turn into strong, will either get tested and respected as strong demand, or it will be tested but broken and created into a new supply. And that's just one of the aspects of trading, right? So now once we hop into the actual chart, what I like to do is look for those strong areas of supply and demand on the monthly. So right now we're on the monthly time frame. You see the weekly, the monthly, the daily. So what I like to do is a top-down analysis, which you start off from the top, from the higher time frames, and you go down to the lower time frame which you trade on, right? So we hop into the monthly, and remember what I said: strong areas of strong demand will be tested and respected as demand again. So there's already this zone right here, so we can mark it out, which is, and I like to round it to the nearest. Let's say this one could be 105, right? So that's already 105. And then we have another one right here. Look, you see strong supply here. So this is another zone here, which is, we could do right at 2.0. And this is what you start doing on the higher time frames, and you start doing this exact same thing on the lower time frames. And you go time frame by time frame, look, identifying zones. Especially, I mean, this is a lower time frame zone right here, as you can see. Supply below, price broke above it, and we even had a bullish engulfing candle, as you can see. Bullish engulfing candle, price broke above it, created a higher low. So basically previous area of supply tested and created as new demand, and price pushed up, right? The same thing that I just explained to you over here, it happens on the chart on every time frame. The market is these charts are fractals, right? It doesn't matter what you're trading. You can be trading Bitcoin, you could be trading Forex, you could be trading stocks. A chart is still a chart at the end of the day, right? Candlesticks are still candlesticks at the end of the day. So now we keep on identifying zones. Look, there's another one here. Strong area of demand gave us two strong areas of supply. You see? And what zone is this? This is 177, so I'll go to 175. So 17500. And you keep on identifying zones like this. There's another one right here. And eventually you're gonna train your eyes to find them, right? And then once you start finding at least the ones closest to where price is now, these zones matter, because price is going to give you a strong trade off every time that price tests these zones. For example, there's another one right here. Strong buys, not as strong as these, but they were strong. Then we broke below 120. We broke below 120, but look at our price closed. It's still closed above it, creating a higher low and continuing to the upside. It wasn't until we had a bearish engulfing candle below it that we actually mounted to the next target, which was 105, which was this low all the way over here. And then look at what happened afterwards. bullish engulfing candle, higher low, and then buys back to the upside. So now what I would like to see higher time frame wise is buys from 120 to 142,500. But then that's on the monthly, right? And then on the monthly we could already see price tested this high right here and failed to keep on breaking highs. So you got supply and demand, but then you have also price action. What is price actually doing right now? So price, it was bullish after all of this, right? We had a double bottom here, or a previous area of strong demand, tested and respected as demand again. And then also, look at this. Price kept on failed to keep on breaking highs here, which is this. You could even go all the way back here and find even more areas of supply and demand. So price is respecting this zone right now, which is 138. We could even set a number on it. So but see, when something, so as long as we know that it's 138, right? Because I'd rather have the zone for this right now. So there's certain areas where, for example, on the monthly, they're very pinpoint accuracy, but on the weekly and stuff, you could keep them as zones. For example, this is a zone, but we know that it's right below 138. So we're still on the monthly. And then look, also price has been respecting this other area of supply and demand, which is 132. So now we have our current zones, right? Price is failing to keep on breaking lows below 132. Look at this. Price tested it, we had buys. 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 So this previous area of supply, which was it's 132. Was previous area of supply. Then price broke above it with the bullish engulfing candle. Well, this was kind of a fake out to come and test right above 120 again. But after we had the bullish engulfing candle and then another higher low, price continued above it and turned this previous area of supply into demand and then turned into support. And now we could say that price has long-term ranging below these two zones, but we are still overall, honestly, bullish. We're still above the zone right here. You know what? It's 131,500. 132. Sometimes you're gonna see that. So that it actually tests this high. So actually test this high, and then we test these lows right here. So now what I would like to see is for price to keep on flying to 142,500. But then we're also respecting this zone, this supply zone right here, or this. Now it could actually be a resistance zone. So now that we're on the weekly, you can see why this zone matters, because you see that as long as we're above this zone, we should be getting buys. As long as we're above 131,500, right? And currently we are. Price tested 131,500, and then look, we had a weekly doji candle closed above 131,500, and then the next candle after that, bullish engulfing candle. So we could have already been in buys. Obviously that's a huge ass stop loss, but accommodated for the target, it's still good risk to reward. It's still 1 to 2, and you would have been up around 100 pips right now. Right, so just based off trading off these higher time frame areas of supply and demand. So on the monthly we're bullish, on the weekly we're bullish, and then look, remember what I had said about breaks of structure? Boom, price broke structure, and it came to test this low. Obviously your stop loss would have had to been below over here, so actually it would have been 200 pips, but you would have already been up 160, and still price on the way to target, just based off the breakup structure and the higher low. Literally what I had just explained earlier, that was one of my favorite setups. Wow. It just sucks I missed out on this trade. This trade happened on Thursday last week. These are the things that happen. Look at this. This would have been the trade opportunity after the price broke back above with the bullish engulfing candle and the higher low. Boom. So the monthly, we're bullish. Obviously, you can see higher lows, bullish engulfing candle, price respecting above the previous area of supply and demand, or respecting 131,500 as support. And then on the weekly, we have a weekly doji candle and a huge bullish engulfing candle above 131,500, and this is already looking like a weekly higher low. So this could already start looking something like this. Obviously this was a break of structure, and this could be a higher low or price to continue to the upside. And then on the daily, we broke all of the structure and we're still above it. On the daily, we're gonna test this high, and then off of this high, we're gonna see either a pullback back down or another break of structure, a possible higher low to continue, and this could actually be another re-entry here. So that was technically it, and we actually have a potential trade now here, which I would actually much rather see the bullish engulfing candle and a higher low for price to continue bullish to give us 300 pips to the upside. But obviously you will still need that higher low above to set a proper stop loss, right? So now that was technically it. Now you officially know how to read a chart and kinda trade based off supply and demand and price action. Peace and love.